babes, welcome to my channel. I'm Maria, aka Agape Love Girl. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm back with a new Beauty Rewind video. Beauty Rewind is a series I do every month where I talk about all the products that were new to me that I tried the previous month and tell you my thoughts and kind of reviews or overviews on these products after having used them, tested them out, and things like that from the previous month. So it's a lot more time and thought put into these products and not just first impressions. With that, let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing I have to show you is actually part of a collective haul of a lot of things that I could talk about in this video, but I'm deciding not to because I already shared quite a bit of my thoughts in the haul and first impressions video I did, and we'll be sharing a lot more of my thoughts in my full face using these. So I don't want to be repetitive, and I'm just going to refer you to those videos. And so what I'm talking about are hard candy products. This is something I won't use in the full face video because it's a night serum, but I have been using this for like the last couple of weeks, and this is the Sheer Envy Fix It Mask Night Repair. This claims to recharge dehydrated skin while you sleep overnight, infused with white and purple orchid extracts. The skin treatment helps to restore dull, dry skin overnight. With continued use, your skin will look healthier and more radiant. And to be honest, I don't think I really like this that much. I need to probably look more into the ingredients to see if there's something in there that's not quite agreeing with my skin, but I honestly don't feel like it is helping my dry skin because I am someone who has dry skin. I feel like a lot of the times I'm kind of normal or combo skin, but I definitely lean dry, you know, more than anything. And so products that are supposed to hydrate the skin, moisturize the skin, I'm always interested in. And I'm obviously someone who can like tell you if it really does work. Does it hydrate the skin? Does my skin feel better? And even though I haven't been using this like a long time, I just feel like it's drying my skin out more than it's hydrating it. I don't feel like when I wake up my skin feels supple or soft or just radiant or anything. I don't feel like it's necessarily doing anything terrible to my skin, but I just don't feel like it's doing anything beneficial to my skin either. And maybe I need to use it a little bit longer than like 2.5 or whatever weeks I've been using it, but I kind of don't want to because I'm like, I feel like this is doing nothing. And the reason why I don't want to continue using it is because I've been trying to just use this and not other products. That way I didn't have any other products that I know I like and use interfering with my thoughts on just this and how well this works. And that's typically how I like to try to test skincare products that are new to me. I will try to minimize anything else that is supposed to do something similar to what the new product is, so I can really know if this is working and doing what it's supposed to. And I don't want to continue doing that. Like, I just don't feel like it's doing enough soon enough. And I know skincare is something that does take time. Usually it takes 2 weeks to really notice anything, but within that 2 weeks I really haven't noticed anything great with using this, so I kind of just don't want to continue using it. And to be honest, my skin just has been feeling so dry lately, and I know my skin does tend to get a lot more dry in the summer because I am out in the sun a lot more often. So part of it could be a little bit of that, but if I'm using something that's supposed to hydrate my skin and restore it and stuff like that, that should be, you know, helping. And I haven't been out in the sun like a crazy amount, but I just still feel like my skin is very dry and doesn't look its best, doesn't feel its best. So I really just don't think that's doing anything for me, and I'd rather just go back to other products that I know work for me and that I really love. So unfortunately, this is something that's kind of a miss for me. Next up, I'm going to talk about this one very quickly. This was something that was new to me last month, but I only made the time to use it just once, and that one time was my first impressions video that I did on this. So if you haven't seen that and you're interested to see it in action and see a wear test, see it up close, see it in natural light and things like that, I do all that in that video. But it's my first impressions of the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better Primer Plus. I did put it in my makeup basket for July for this month, and this will be the only primer I use all month long, so I can get a better idea. But I just figured I'd mention it here in this Beauty Rewind video because I did do the first impressions video, so you can at least see that. And just know to look forward to, you know, hearing about this. Maybe next month I'll also include it in my next Beauty Rewind, but I will for sure do an update of this in my next month's makeup basket, because in my makeup basket videos I always kind of do a recap of my thoughts of using the products that I've, you know, used for the month before I go into picking out new products for the month. Okay, next up, I have some new shampoos that I gave a try last month. These were sent to me in PR from DermaE. This is their Scalp Relief Shampoo and Conditioner. And I was actually really excited to receive these. Now, I have been using, I think, purple shampoos and keratin enriched conditioners and things like that. But anyways, I did stop using those for a little bit to give these a try. These have some really cool ingredients in them. It says it's enriched with vitamin B5 to hydrate, salicylic acid to help exfoliate your scalp, which salicylic acid is also really good for like acne, or it can be good for acne. It's an acne treatment, known for being an acne treatment. It also has tea tree oil, which helps to soothe your irritated scalp, while cooling menthol provides a refreshing sensation. This also has neem oil, burdock, and bearberry, vitamin A and vitamin E. It's supposed to promote manageability, shine, and a healthier looking hair. So it sounded really great, and I was just very excited to try these, and I will say that I really did enjoy them. I was kind of skeptical how well they would work. Because I am blonding my hair, it is a lot more dry. I have a hair somewhere. Drier, I would say, than normal. I mean, although like my hair person, my salon person, what do you call it, my hairdresser person, she is doing a fabulous job with my hair and really has taken it slow, as you guys have probably seen in my videos, the progression of my hair, and my hair feels amazing, and she's doing a great job. But obviously when you're going blonde, it does, you know, dry out your hair a little bit, so I like to be really cautious with the hair care products I'm using, which I never used to be like that, because I was like, I don't care about my hair, I use whatever, but I obviously have to take better care of it now with what I'm doing to it. So I was kind of skeptical if this would really work in my hair, if the conditioner would actually help my hair feel soft, or it would go through it without leaving it feeling dry. But the conditioner actually feels amazing. Like, I barely need to use any, and my, you know, when I'm going through my hair, it just, I can run my fingers right through it in the shower. It detangles amazingly, and I love that it has that menthol and cooling sensation to the scalp and skin. It feels just really good, and I really like it. Now, I don't have issues that this is supposed to help. Like it says, scalp relief to soothe dry, irritated scalp. I actually don't really, it's weird, like I have dry skin, so you think maybe I'd have more dry scalp, but I feel like my scalp is just normal. It's not ever too dry. I don't really deal with flakiness, what is that called? Oh, dandruff. I also don't have like really oily hair either. It's just kind of like in between, and I'm very thankful for that. So I don't have those issues to say like if it really helps with that, but I do love the way it feels on the scalp and the way it feels very clean in my hair, and it does a really amazing job. And so I really like them. I would recommend them. If you are someone who deals with, you know, dry, itchy scalp or irritated scalp, you might want to give these a try. DermaE is an amazing brand that I really love. They are 100% vegan. I'm just going to read right here because they have so many claims, but they are 100% vegan, GMO free, eco ethical, cruelty free, and this is its doctor developed. So I think that's really neat. And even though I said that I used to just wash my hair with whatever works, that doesn't mean that I think like just anything works and everything's good. You know, there are some shampoos and conditioners that like just didn't really work for me, but what I meant by that was that I would just buy shampoo from the drugstore, you know, and if it worked, it worked. But there are definitely some shampoos and conditioners, especially more natural ones and stuff like that, that didn't work for me, and then didn't really take care of my hair, and the conditioner like just didn't work for me, and my hair still felt dry, and you know, like hay and things like that. And so there are definitely products that I've tried that are more natural and things like that that don't work, but these ones do, and I'm really pleasantly surprised and happy with them. And I definitely would recommend if you're looking for, you know, a product like this for your hair. So I really like them. I was really glad to give them a shot this last month. And actually, I will still continue using them. I did try to use those exclusively, maybe like once a week I would use my purple shampoo, but for the most of the week when I washed my hair, I used just those, and I did that throughout the month since I had gotten them. But from now on, I will probably use my purple shampoo mostly, and then use that kind of interchangeably until I use it up. Just, you know what I mean? So anyways, I'm gonna continue using them. Really love them. So anyways, next up, I tried 2 new products from Urban Decay last month. These ones are products I actually only tried within the last week of the month, but I think they're kind of like typical normal products that I have a good gauge an idea of that I don't think need a longer span of time to give you guys a good review or my thoughts. And that's because one of them is the all-nighter setting spray, which you guys know I love. If you've watched any of my empties videos, you know that I usually have one of these in almost every single empties video because it's one of my favorite setting sprays. I do receive it in PR quite often, but I also repurchase it myself with my own money. It's just a really good setting spray. So, you know, there's nothing new to that except for the fact that this is their summer solstice scented. I'm pretty sure it's probably limited edition. I did receive this in PR if I didn't say that already. This is the travel size or whatever. They sent me a full size and a travel size, and I just opened up the travel size and took that with me on our family trip to Vegas. So I just wanted to give it a shot because I was curious what it was like, and I'm gonna remind myself of the scent. So the scent reminds me of like what is it? I'm spraying myself. This is me spraying myself. Sunscreen. That's what this actually reminds me of, which I don't really care for. It's kind of like a coconutty, like tropical, you know, the sunscreens that are very coconutty, tropical, like they're trying to smell good or whatever. That's kind of what this reminds me of. And I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. It's not my favorite kind of scent. I don't prefer the faux coconut kind of scents for the most part. Some of them I do like, but for the most part I don't prefer that scent. So it's not terrible, it's not overwhelming. The scent goes away pretty quickly. Like I don't smell it anymore. But if you're into that kind of fragrance and you like the idea of this limited edition fragrance or scented setting spray, then you might want to pick it up. But I probably wouldn't pick this up on my own because I don't care for the scent. I don't need anything special to make me buy the Urban Decay All-Nighter setting spray. I like it as it is, but it's always fun when they come out with like a new scent or whatever. So that was like a fun little thing I tried. And then I tried their brand new or updated version of their Perversion waterproof eyeliner. I guess they just updated the tip of it. I don't know what the tip of it looked like before, if it was more of a felt tip or if it was still a brush tip, but I'm gonna kind of repeat myself because I mentioned this also in my Mailbox Monday video. But I really like this. So it's in pin form, which I like because that's my preference for a liner, because it's just easier to use a pin form in my opinion. I tend to have kind of shaky hands when I'm doing my makeup, and so it's nice to just have something I could just, you know, just easier to use than some giant wand. But even though this is similar to like a pin felt tip liner, the tip is actually not felt. It's like a brush tip, if you could kind of see, like it's a brush tip but in like a pin form, and I love that. I feel like it gives more opacity when applying, because felt tip liners can tend to kind of dry up a little bit when they're going over powders and things like that. But when you have the brush tip, that's what makes you get a lot more of an opaque application, and so for that reason I really like it. And the fact that it's waterproof is quite perfect because you know, it's summer, and so it's nice to have a liner that's going to stay in place when you're sweating or possibly by the water or anything like that. I don't typically wear makeup when I'm swimming or anything like that, but you know, I do sweat quite a bit, especially in my face area, so it's nice that this kind of lasts through that. Okay, next up I have some products from the brand Beauty Bar Baby, which is an indie brand. These are products that I purchased myself just because I was really curious to try more products from them. And I guess I'll talk about the highlight first, just because I already mentioned this in my makeup basket video, because this was in my makeup basket for June, and so I did my recap for July. But this is their Heart of Gold highlighter, and I just think it's so cute. I love the heart shaped pan of it, and I feel like that's so unique. You don't see that, at least I don't think I've seen that really from any brand, indie or not. And I love hearts. I'm a sucker for hearts, if you guys did not know or notice my tattoo. And I love gold highlighters, so I'll go ahead and swatch it for you. This one's a really pretty intense highlight. Oh, by the way, these are swatches from my eye look today, and if you like my eye look, that video should be up. I'll link it. Is it here or here? I never know. Anyways, I'll link it in the eye if you guys want to check it out. But look how pretty and intense this highlight is. So gorgeous. I do feel like it has a few bits of like sparkle or glitter, not like glitter like chunky plastic glitter, but like more of a like natural glitter, but it is a slightly chunky highlighter, but not like super chunky. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a pretty intense. It's definitely not for the faint of heart, but it's a really beautiful highlighter, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad I got it. And then I got this adorable little quad palette. It has this cute little pin-up butterfly on it, and these are the shades that I got. And I actually did do a look with this, and that is in my IGTV section on Instagram. So if you want to see this palette in action, I will link that video in the description box. Definitely check it out. I'll go ahead and swatch these for you real quick, but we have 2 mattes here and then 2 shimmers. I think the mattes are actually really nice. They worked pretty well. They're fairly pigmented. Don't take too much. Sorry, that was a terrible swatch. These are a little bit drier mattes, but they still build up and work really well. Really pretty. The shimmers are really nice too, very soft, very nice quality. I will say that this golden shade though did take a little bit of building up, which you'll probably see in my video if you go watch it. It swatches very nicely with a finger, but with a brush it takes a little bit to build it up, but the green actually applies beautifully and very easily with a brush. It's very pigmented and really beautiful. This is much more of a simpler just little quad, so I don't imagine myself reaching for a ton, because I do have other similar colored shadows in other palettes and other collections. I just really wanted to buy this to support Beauty Bar Baby and support an indie brand. But I did really like it. I think they're definitely worth checking into. They have really nice products. Okay, and then something else new that I got last month. I've only tried this maybe 3 or 4 times, and I will say at first impressions, I feel like it's still first impressions at this point, but I kind of feel like my mind's made up about it. But first impressions of this are that I don't really like it. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills new eye primer. This is a little mini size. Now I mentioned this, I think, in the makeup products I want but probably won't buy video. I keep laughing at myself because there's actually several products in that video that I talked about that I did end up buying, and so it's kind of funny. I just kind of gave in, but I was really curious. But the thing is, I wouldn't have bought this the full size because it's just too much money. I didn't want to spend that. But when I saw they had a mini size, this was only $13 I think, and this is a good amount of product. I was like, okay, I will buy that because I'm just really curious about it, and it sounded really great. It's supposed to be like waterproof and just like this like bone colored base, so you know, kind of give you a blank or blank canvas to work with and things like that. So that's really what pulled me into it and to try. But it's just, since the times I've used it, it just feels way too dry. I didn't imagine it would stay tacky or anything, but I kind of thought maybe it would a little bit, but it just dries and kind of goes on the lid a little bit like patchy, and I don't like it. It's just way too dry. And additionally, let me show you this. I don't know if you could tell, but maybe you can. I haven't squeezed it. I just opened the cap, and this is what's pouring out. Like, every time I open the cap, I don't even have to squeeze this. I'm literally holding this so gently so I don't squeeze it. But I don't know what is with it. Maybe it's just packed with so much product, which could be a good thing. Or I don't know what's the deal, but it just oozes out every time I open it. So I feel like so much goes to waste. So much is kind of in the cap. So for that, I don't like it because I feel like the packaging is really messy. I'm just gonna wipe that off there so you can kind of see what it's like. But see, look at, not even squeezing it, but still there's more coming out at the tip. So I don't like that. I feel like it's really messy. But here's what it looks like, and I'll kind of just move it around. It feels nice when I swatch it on the back of my hand. It feels really creamy, but on my eyelids, and maybe it's because I do have drier eyelids, it just goes on very patchy and very dry, and not like a smooth base. You know how like you want to put on a primer or like concealer even, it gives you like a nice smooth even base. This does not go on my eyes like that. It just goes on very dry and patchy, and does not stay creamy. It dries fairly fast, I think, and so I just don't know. I don't feel like it really helps the shadows a ton. I did actually use it today for this look, so it's not terrible. It doesn't mess up the shadows or anything, but I just feel like I definitely could live without it, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I'm sure there's other better primers out there, even primers that have a little bit of color to it to kind of give you a blank canvas. But yeah, so I definitely wouldn't recommend it. I do want to use it at least a few more times just to really give it a go. Maybe I'm using it wrong. Maybe I need to, you know, put it on with like a beauty blender or something like that you know, has a little bit more moisture, because I've been putting it on either with my finger or with a brush, and maybe that's what's making it's just too dry that way. So I don't know. But yeah, first impressions of this since trying it, I don't really care for it. I wouldn't recommend it, but I'll keep using it and maybe try to update later on if I do like it. Otherwise, I'll most likely declutter it and give it away to someone else who might want to try it. Alright, and next up I have some products from Covergirl. I did do a whole video about this collection and all the products I received. I received these in PR, and I have a giveaway in that video, so if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend you guys head on over there and check it out. I will link that video. But I have 3 palettes here, and I have been playing around with these off and on throughout the last month, and I will say that I do like them. I don't love them. I think they're pretty good quality, especially considering, you know, they are drugstore. They are more of a quote-unquote affordable price. I believe they're about $15, at least for these big ones. But what I don't like about that price for these is that, like, it looks like you're getting a really big palette, you know, but then you open it up and that's it. The shadows are so small and barely taking up any space in here, and I just feel like it's such a waste of space. These look so beautiful and could have been so much better if the shadows like were like a normal palette. Like, I just feel like this is so weird. Now it does come with a very nice mirror. I do enjoy it. It flips all the way to the back. I do think the design in here is really pretty. I think they're really well thought out. Like, each palette in the collection is unique and different, and I think that's really cool. Like, this Rain one's gorgeous. It's got this like beveled top here. The nice mirror, the like filigree, or if that's what it's called, I'm not quite sure, around here. It's really pretty, but just this waste of space is just such a turn off for me personally. And then it has these weird like larger and smaller pans that really make no sense, and the color stories don't really make a ton of sense. But anyway, so those are my cons, and I talk about this in my Covergirl video, so it's kind of a repeat here, but in case you don't watch that video anyways, I'm just saying it again. Those are the things I don't like about it, but I think overall, if we're speaking on just the quality of the shadows, I actually think they're really good. Not the most amazing, but they're not terrible either. I find them very easy to work with. I find them to be very pigmented, especially the metallic shades. They're very pigmented. You don't need much help at all applying them. Like, you don't need a setting spray to apply them. You don't need to use your finger. They just are very pigmented and go on very easy. Another thing to mention is that, like, this palette only has metallic shades. There's no mattes in this one, which is weird. I don't know. And then this one does have mattes, and has a mix of mattes and shimmers. And the 2 other palettes are kind of similar into where one of them is only metallics and one of them is mix of mattes and metallics. So I don't know what the deal with is that and why they were chosen that way, but anyways, the mattes I would say are decent. I feel like they do take a little bit of building up, but they're not lacking in pigmentation. They're very soft shadows, and I find that they are easy to blend. I do want to mention really quickly that I watched Jen of Jen Loves Reviews video. It's like her favorites and fails, I'm pretty sure, for the month. And she had mentioned that this is one of her fails. These palettes were a fail for her, and she had trouble blending them. And so that's something to note. Those are 2 different opinions. I personally did not have trouble blending them, and I found them to be pretty easy to work with, but you know, it just, I don't know, I guess it depends on, I don't know. When I left a comment and she's like, that's because you're so good at makeup, and maybe it is, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm amazing at makeup, but I just saying my personal experiences, I didn't have trouble with them. I found them very easy to use because they are very soft and just very pigmented. But I will say that the downside to these palettes, at least with the mattes, is that they are truly so soft that it's almost like the issue people had with Subculture is that you barely put your brush in there. You can tap. You definitely don't want to swirl. If you do, you're gonna get, it just too much comes up. They're just too soft. So just tap barely, but even when you tap barely, you're getting a lot of product up and a lot of kick up. This is a shadow that I use the most, and I'll probably have to zoom in to show you, but if I look carefully, I feel like I could probably already see pan on it, which is crazy because I've only used this like 3 times. So I think that's kind of insane. So it's kind of like a bittersweet thing because they're soft and pigmented and easy to use and easy to blend for me personally. But because they are so soft, they're kicking up too much product and wasting product. So that's kind of a downside for me personally. But as far as quality and wearability and ease of use, I actually really like them. I think they're nice. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend them though, just because of the issues and because of the spacing. It's just weird to me, and the color stories, like I mentioned, are just kind of weird and random and don't quite make sense to me personally. But if there's one that you look at and you like the color story, I would say they're good, and it's really just up to you what you want to buy. I do think these are nice palettes. Not my favorite from the drugstore, but not the worst I've tried from the drugstore for sure. If you want a recommendation from me of drugstore palettes, I would say go for the Milani palettes. Those ones are just, I think you're getting the best deal because not only quality, they're amazing, but packaging is amazing and really on par for like a high-end brand, to be honest. The pricing is very good. They're $14 to $20 depending on where you buy them, and I think it's just, they're amazing. So that's what I would recommend for like a drugstore palette. But these really aren't terrible, and I'm just repeating myself at this point, so I'm gonna move on. I have another kind of item from Covergirl, and these are their liquid glitter eyeshadows. I kept 4 of them, and I believe there's 4 that I'm giving away in that video. But these are the 4 that I kept, and I've only used these, I don't know, 3 or so times so far, so I feel like I need to use them a little bit more before really giving a good review on these. But I will say that first impressions of these, I like them a lot. I think they're really beautiful. They wear well, they apply well. I've tried applying them with a brush as well as the doe foot applicator that comes with them, and they apply really beautifully, very opaque with, you know, the doe foot applicator. They're very sparkly and just make it really easy to work with and just make achieving a glam look really, you know, quick and easy. So I do really like them. I can't remember the price of these, but I definitely would say these could be on par as a dupe for the Stila Glitter and Glows, which clearly is what these are modeled after. They pretty much look identical. If you didn't know better, they look the same. But I will say that I feel like these probably need a glitter primer or just an eyeshadow primer, and they wear a little bit better. I haven't found that they like wear off throughout the day, but they do kind of I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it, because I was going to say they kind of chunk up or crumble up a little bit, but they don't quite crumble up because I don't find that they necessarily fall out a ton, but I feel like they don't look the best at the end of the day. They also don't look bad at the end of the day either, but I kind of think that maybe if I use this with like a glitter primer or just a regular eyeshadow primer, they might wear a little bit better. But even without it, they wear pretty well throughout the day, but they do look just a slightly chunky or crispy, something like that. I can't think of the proper way to explain it without making it sound terrible, because it's not terrible, but it's not like smooth either, if that makes sense. So anyways, I do really like them, but I want to continue playing with them. But upon like somewhat first impressions, actually this is beyond just first impressions, I do really like them and I would recommend these. I think they're really beautiful. But anyways, that is it for all the new products that I tried last month and tested last month and my thoughts on them. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. If you have any questions about these products, anything that I maybe didn't think to talk about or mention or, you know, answer for you, please don't hesitate to leave a comment and ask your question, and I will get back to you as soon as I can, so I can better help you with more knowledge about these products if you are interested in them. Or if you have tried these products yourself, I would definitely love to hear your thoughts and review of them, and I definitely think that would be helpful to anybody else watching this video and reading the comments, so we could all help each other. I think that's just helpful in general for anybody, because I'm like that when I go to other people's videos, is like I'll watch the video but I also try to see what other people are saying in the comments and hearing their experience, because everybody's different, everybody's preferences are different and things like that, and I know it can be really helpful to hear hear more than just one opinion on products, so please feel free to share. But anyways, with all that being said, I just want to thank you so much for watching, and until next time, much love and hugs to you. Bye, beauty babes. Mwah!